pulling my inner tie rod ends off to do the modification to them to increase the amount of angle that my steering has, and found something out here. My rack actually has a pretty good amount of movement in it, so if you go to pull your tie rod ends off and your rack moves this much, you might want to get yourself another rack. The thing actually drives fine, but a rack's been on my list of things to do here, but since it hasn't needed the rack yet, I haven't gotten one yet. But yeah, something that I need to do for sure. This is a pretty good amount of movement there. Alright, got the inner tie rod ends off, and I'm going to do the angle modification to them. So you can see there's that margin right here where there's no thread, and so we're going to grind them all the way back to there. And this side too, you can see this side right here, right up in there. So yeah, don't be like John Duncan and get too rowdy with your grinding and overheat it, because then you melt out the nylon that's in the ball and socket side, so you don't want to do that. And while I'm doing that, Michael's over here fixing my door. Thanks, Tori. That Tori peeled open like a pop can, so we got most of the big dent out, and now we're just gonna reattach the skin. And it's a drift car, so what does that mean, Michael?
Zip ties, baby.
Woo! That's right. Drift car. See how this works out. So I don't have the patience to grind on it with a grinder, so what I'm doing is I'm using the Sawzall, and I used the mark or the hole for the pin as a reference point of how deep to cut it. And I might have got a little bit closer to the threads than I wanted to, but hey, those can be cleaned up. So I'm just going to cut this all the way off and get that much more angle out of her. Woo! Okay, I got right up in there in the threads, so hopefully I didn't mess them up too bad, but that was a lot easier than grinding it. I'll grind it to make it a little more true because the blade went kind of sideways, but it's looking good. Boom, as you can see, I made it flattish. Better than it was. Got a little bit of threads in there, but I'll just clean those up. As long as it threads on the rack, I'll be good. Well, there isn't a whole lot more to doing that angle mod by just taking the material off of the ends of the tie rod ends, those inners, reinstalling them. I didn't go over all the steps. I was in kind of a hurry when I made those clips. The reason I'm wrapping it right now is because I have time. At that time, I was getting the car ready for an event, so I might have failed on getting all of the steps involved, but it's easy enough if you've never taken inner tie rod ends off of a Mustang rack to look it up in a book or Google it, and you'll probably find lots of videos for it. Currently, after a sledding adventure I had, Yeah, I'm actually wearing sleeves because crutches, yeah, I don't want them in my bare, hairy armpits. And so right now I'm rolling the badass scooter because I got a broken leg. Woo! Great news though. I'll be healed up in time for drift season, so I'm not going to miss out on any competition rounds. And so I should be able to get back to working on the car soon. Well, thanks for watching. Hope the little bit of angle this modification gives you helps. Depending on how stock your suspension is, it's a good idea to probably run a wheel spacer to push the wheel out more. If you don't feel comfortable doing these modifications yourself, the modified parts are available for purchase by Mr. John Duncan of Duncan Performance. I'll put the link in the comments. And thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Lots of new content coming. All right, AA out.